In this video we will see what time actually does to your drawings. Because in today's video I drew a portrait for 15 minutes, 50 minutes and 5 hours. And we will see how big the difference actually will be. So first of all, let's get us some references, and for that I obviously went to Pinterest. For the 15-minute one I tried to take a more simple reference. For the 50 minutes one a more complicated one, and for the last one I took more with some more details, like for example the katana and the clothing. And as you can see, my references are like 3D models, like not real persons, and I take them because they are already stylized. And you know guys, the struggle with stylization is real. Alright, let's start with the first one, the 50 minutes one. And to be honest, I had no idea how to start it. But then I started with a rough sketch as always, and yeah, I really did the Ferrari move. Like I really paced the whole drawing. And I didn't think about any brush strokes, I just went for it. The problem was I didn't had much time to, for example, liquefy the face so the proportions are right. So everything looked very goofy. Then I took the same brush, made it thinner and traced the whole drawing. But the shape wasn't that great. As you know, I always grayscale, even in the 50 minutes one. And yeah, it was a very rough grayscale, but trust me, if I would went instantly with colors, everything would look terrible, like horrible. And you directly see how bad the shape looks. But as I said, we had no time, so I directly went to the colors. And again, very rough, but the time was already over. Am I happy with it? Of course not. But to be honest, for 15 minutes, it's pretty alright in my opinion. And let's don't talk about the mouth. Now let's go to the 50 minutes one. And here I choose this kind of princess reference. And again, I start with a very rough sketch. But to be honest, it's always a very fast process. And here I made sure that the shape is alright and not like in the last one. When I was happy with the shape, I just made a new layer, made my brush thinner and traced the whole thing, like in the last one. And what I always do, I never delete the layer before, like the rough one. Because for me it's easier when the rough one is still there. I don't know, it just looks better for my eyes, like, Now again, the grayscaling stage. Here I made sure that the values are alright, because now we had a little bit more time for that. First of all, I made sure where the light is coming from. And as you can see, my first step was to split the face. Left the bright side and right the dark side. Then I've added the eyebrows, the mouth and the eyelids. And when I was happy with all that, I went to the eyes and made sure that they are looking good. Because as we know, the eyes are always like the part of the drawing which really stands out the most. Like when you're on Instagram, you directly look in the eyes. It's always like this. When I was pretty much done with them, I started with the hair. And I don't know why, but I struggle to this day with hair. Like I always hate how they look. Added the light on the left side and obviously made the right side a little bit darker. Finally added here and there some brush strokes, but again, I just hate how my hair looks and I definitely have to practice them. Finally grayscaled the neck and the shoulders, and here you can see I ignored the whole jewelry thing. I mean, we had more time than in our last drawing, but not that much time to focus on small things like them. And I was pretty much happy how it ended up. And I didn't finish the crown because of time. And now we have to color all that. For that I actually used the lasso tool. Yes, I'm actually using it right now. And we're pretty much done with our drawing. I'm actually very happy how it turned out, especially in that short period of time. And in comparison with our last one, yeah, there's a difference. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video, I would highly appreciate if you like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now let's go to our last one, the 5-hour one. And for that I choose this reference, because here you can see that there is more going on. Like, there's an katana, the clothing looks more detailed. Again, I started with a very rough sketch of the face, then I added very roughly the clothing and the katana. And again, after all that, I'm tracing the whole rough sketch with a thinner brush. And as you can see, I'm always doing like the sketch very simplified. Like I never draw all the details, I just draw all the big shapes. Because the details are drawing now, in the grayscaling stage. First of all, again, I start with the face, made sure that the eyebrows, the eyes are looking good, the mouth and the nose. Then I liquefied the face a little bit to make sure that everything is alright. After I was happy with it, I started drawing the clothing. And that was really the part where all the time flew in. All the folds, all the details, it was very exhausting. And of course, much of erasing. And that was such a time waste, you can't even believe that. Finally, I drew the katana, and lastly, again, the hair. And again, I wasn't happy with them at all. And now lastly, again, the coloring stage. And oh boy, that was a big struggle too. Because first of all, I turned the opacity down that the colors pop more out. But then I wasn't happy with it, undid the whole thing, and then the colors were just very dark and not so saturated. But I'm be honest, I just gave it up and went further. So I definitely have to practice coloring on grayscaling. Finally, added here and there some highlights, like for example on the katana, on the eyes, but I'm be honest, I'm not really happy with the 5-hour drawing. Like there is so much time that went in for that reward. Come on, that's not efficient. And I have to say that the coloring stage destroyed everything too, because in my opinion the grayscaled version was pretty decent, and then the colored version, I don't know, just destroyed the whole thing for me personally. But here it is, the 5-hour portrait, and the biggest waste of time was again the clothing and especially perfection. You know, you want everything to be perfect, but that's not possible. So what did I learn from this whole video? I learned work more simplified, because it's so much more efficient. Like the 50 minutes one is in my opinion way better than the 5-hour one. Like I mean, that's so much time waste, you know. And that was it for today, guys. I hope you could learn something from this video and maybe compromise your workflow too. If you guys enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and peace out.